Hey guys, welcome to another Pixlr tutorial, or this might be your first Pixlr tutorial. This Pixlr tutorial is going to be focused on making a banner. It's going to replace the original Pixlr tutorial I made a long time ago, because that one is really out of date and the banner itself wasn't really good. So let's sort of get started. The first thing I want to show you is this new banner I made here. It's called Pixlr. It's out of this world. I have a really nice background of the sky with some clouds and sunlight, and I also have this astronaut here. Now, when working with this particular banner, you'll be working with a few layers, some text tools, some erase tools. You'll be working with a handful of tools that might be useful for you in Pixlr. So I think this will be a very good start off for some of you who don't know much about image editing. So let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is create a new file. I'm going to click File, New. The size I'm going to use is about 800 by 200. I'm going to name this as Banner New. Click OK. And before I click OK, I'm going to make sure I click Transparent. The next thing I want to do is get this background into my image, so I'm going to open it up. But before I do that, I just want to say that the images that I got on this banner came from Stockball and also Stock Exchange. So these are sites that give you free, royalty-free images that you can use for the web for things like image editing. So make sure to check these two sites out. I'll have the links posted on the YouTube channel for you to check out. Okay, so let's open up the background image I'm looking for. Here we go. Alright, the first thing you'll notice is that the resolution is really large. 4,000 by 2,000 something pixels is a lot. So I'm going to go to image size, and I'm going to change the width to about 1,000. Okay, and click OK. Now at this moment you'll notice the image shrink. You can either go to View, Zoom in to zoom in more, or you can actually go down here on the left hand side and change the percentage view. In this case I want to say 100. Now I'm going to unlock the layer. Double click on that. If you don't unlock it, it won't allow you to copy. You won't be able to copy the image. Now the next thing I want to do is use the marquee tool. The marquee tool will let me highlight the actual image to copy. So all I did was I held the left mouse button and just dragged it across and let go. The next thing I want to do is either hit Control C to copy or Command C for Macs. And either that or you can go to Edit, Copy. It does the same exact thing. Now I've copied the background image. It's in on this layer now. I'm just going to hit Control V or Command V to paste it, or Edit, Paste, whichever one works best for you. Now I'm going to move the image around. I'm not going to make it exactly like the other one I showed you. I'm going to kind of position it how I want. I want it to be like that. The next thing I want to do is actually name this layer. I'm going to call it Background. So to name a layer, just click on the text there, double click, and it'll automatically work for you. This layer 0 here, I'm just going to delete because I don't need it. If you highlight that layer and press the trash can, it goes away. Next thing I want to do is bring in our astronaut. I'm going to go to File, Open, and find the image of the astronaut that I need. It's right here. Looks very cool. Now the next thing I want to do is shrink the image a bit. I'm going to go to Image, Image Size, change it to 750, and click OK. I'm going to change this to about 80. I'm going to spread this out a bit. So if you want to expand an image, you can get on the bottom right tab and actually stretch the image out. I'm going to unlock the layer. What I want to do is isolate the astronaut. So I'm going to use the wand tool here. I'm going to keep the tolerance at 10. In my other tutorials I talk about tolerance, but for now, in this particular example, I keep the tolerance low, and you might want to experiment with that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold the Shift key down, and it's important you hold the Shift key down for this particular situation. So while I hold the Shift key down, I'm going to left click my mouse and just keep selecting. And as you can see, this little line, these little dashed lines are wrapping around the astronaut, and that's what we want. Also inside the interior of the suit, I'm going to zoom in a little bit, 120. You'll see there's this gap in here. I don't want that as well. That's the background there. We want to get rid of that. Also in this area here, There's the background also. Okay, looks like we got most of it. Now, what I want to do is get rid of the background. So what you can do is hit the delete button, and it'll delete it, and now you have a transparent background. At this point, to get rid of these little fuzzy lines, you can hit Control D or Command D, and it'll make it go away, or go to Edit, and press deselect all. Alright, the next thing you want to do is actually copy this. So what did I use to copy? The marquee tool. So I'm going to use the marquee tool. I'm going to highlight some of the astronaut here. I got a good portion highlighted. I'm going to hit Control C or Command C to copy. You'll see a dialog pop up. Go back to my banner, new file, and I'm going to hit Control V. So here we go. We have our astronaut here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Control T, or you can go to Edit, Free Transform, and that's going to create this box around your astronaut. It's going to let me resize it. So what you want to do is hold Shift, and while you resize, drag along this edge box. By holding Shift, you will actually symmetrically shrink the actual image. And then when you click away, if you click away, it'll give you the option to apply the changes. In this case, yes. And then now you can move the image again. And now you'll notice a problem that our astronaut got cut off. We don't want that. So I'm going to undo by pressing Control Z. Or you can go to Edit, Undo. Undo any mistakes that you did. So let's try that again. I'm going to hit Control T. I'm going to shrink the astronaut down a bit, holding Shift. And I'm going to move him around, position him really well. And now this looks like a really good spot. And when you do this, you're committing to it. So if you think this is good, then click away. I'm going to click away to the side. I'm going to click Apply Changes. Now the astronaut is set in place. So far so good. At this time I'm going to save my image to make sure I don't lose my work. So I'm going to go to File, Save, go to PXD as the option. So you can put the name in here, save to my computer, and go to PXD. By saving it as a PXD layered Pixlr image, you can edit the file later in Pixlr. Then I'm just going to say Save. In that case, if the browser happens to crash, you can still work on it. The next thing I want to try is, I'm going to rename this layer. I'm going to call it Astronaut, or just Astro, because that has our astronaut in it. You can also move layers around. If you move this background layer up here, it goes away. Because it's hiding it now, or move it back up, the Astro layer is on top. These boxes here you can also move around to help you out. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is actually add text. To add text, make sure you're on the topmost layer, which is Astro, and click the Text tool, which is this big letter A. And I'm going to click somewhere around here. I'm going to change the color to white because the background is fairly dark, and I'm going to put in the title iPixlr. And I'm going to change the size, make it a little larger. You can also change the font, which I will do. And obviously just pick the one that you like. It's pretty simple. Okay, I'm going to change that to bold maybe, and click OK. And then now you can move it around. I'm going to create another text image. I'm just going to click the A box again. By doing that, you'll actually create a new layer automatically. So there's my catchphrase. It's out of this world. I'm going to change the color to black. Change the font size a little bit. Click OK. Move the image around. Move this text file. Alright, so at this point what you want to do is add some effects on your actual text files. So I'm going to click and go back to iPixlr. I'm going to click down here on Layer Styles. So I'm going to click on my particular layer, click on Layer Styles, and you'll have some options. Now, you can do a drop shadow effect, which will add on your Pixlr. What I don't want is distance, so I'm going to reduce the distance. I'm just going to increase the size. You won't see much of a difference, but that's okay. I'm not trying to make it look too fancy. Go back to It's Out of This World, click on Layer Styles, drop shadow. Too much, I don't want, as you can see there's this distance here. It doesn't work for me. You could try something different. I'm going to put it back down, increase the size. . So there's a couple other things you can do. You can do an outer glow as well. And there you have it. Something really simple. And I do recommend that you tinker around with layer styles. Now the last thing I want to do is actually apply a filter on the astronaut. So I'm going to go to my astro layer, I'm going to go to filter, and I'm going to go to glamour glow. And that creates this weird glow around your astronaut. Now obviously it doesn't look like it's working too well for my particular image, but it's something you can try out. But since it didn't work for mine, so I'm just going to undo that feature and leave it alone. So now there you have it. You have this really nice banner that has a really great background. It has a really cool effect. Now you could do something completely different, put the moon, planets in the background to make it even look more realistic. But these are the stock images that I had at hand to make this particular banner. Now it's not difficult to do this. It's really simple if you just have the stock images. So make sure to check out stockvault.net and Stock Exchange or sxc.hu and find free stock images that you can use for banners. Now this is just the beginning. There's a lot of other things you can do, but hopefully this was enough to get you started. Again, don't forget to label your layers and just remember the tools that we worked with today, like the wand tool, the marquee tool, and you should be good to go in terms of making simple banners. Now, if you like this video tutorial, please subscribe to my channel at D3Usavio, and again, check out my other videos if you found this very helpful. And if you have any questions or you'd like to suggest new tutorials, please let me know. Other than that, have a great day, everybody. One thing I forgot to say before we go is actually how to save the image in a usable format. If you go to File, Save, you can continue saving it as your PXD file, which is a Pixlr format. And last, in case you want to use it for the web, I suggest changing it to either a JPEG and using the quality at around 90, which is a good quality size, and clicking OK, and that will save your image as a usable file. Well, just wanted to make sure you guys knew how to save the file in case you didn't know. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial and have a great day.